said. Beg forgiveness with some words that
All right, everyone, it's Big Brian here. Skinny Sumo and 8747 Productions, KPCW up in Park City. Jeff and Bert from The Used. It's great to have them here. And we're here at FYE in Taylorsville, Utah, and part of X96 getting them here. So we thank them for doing this, because without them we couldn't get this set up. Also want to really quick send a thanks to Big Picture Media, you guys publish this, because they're the ones also helped us hook this up with you guys. And Dana over there. And so let's talk for just a few minutes to give you some insight on. You guys have come out with a new album. I've listened to a few of the songs on it, and all I can say is, anyone into hip hop in the band?
Always a band.
So there's a big hip hop influence in this new album. Talk about, you guys went 3 albums with John Feldmann. You came out, released a whole entire different sounding album with artwork, and then you went back and worked with John Feldmann. What inspired going back to Feldmann?
I think it was just timing, really, mostly. We kind of, here, you described this one.
I'd say circumstances kind of made it the most convenient and most productive and positive thing to do at the time. We're like family with John Feldmann now, and so and also doing our record ourselves, he was a little bit flexible about helping us get that done too as well. So it's cool.
He's more of a wrangler, a cattle wrangler, I'd feel. John kind of wrangles us together because we're a little bit spacey and out there, I feel like, some of the times, and he's just good at, like, raking it back. Big ass rake.
When you guys are in a band, you obviously go through things like a family. I mean, I'm sure you guys are at each other's throat some days. Some days you guys are best friends, and it's cohesive. So the producer wrangles, because some days it's wrangling cats, right? Yeah. So let's talk about your approach and the relationship that you have with him. I mean, how important is you to have a good relationship when you go into the studio with your engineer and producer?
I feel like, honestly, I've never really understood or known John Feldmann until this last record. And I don't mean that in any negative way. It takes me a bit to know people, and takes a bit for people to know me, and yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, and he was very involved in this record process. We wrote kind of the majority of the songs with him. And he's a different guy than he was 5 years ago, man. He's always been a super hard worker, but he's a pretty intense guy back in the day. And now that he's had kids, he's mellowed out a little bit,
I understand that. So with you guys, you kind of went away for three years. Jeff and I were talking about that in the back. Obviously you guys all had to start up your own personal lives, and how was that adjustment coming from being on the road all the time, switching, doing all this other stuff, coming back and writing an album together?
It was really interesting. I think the reason we took so much time is we did this album artwork, and we worked so hard on it and put out so much effort and love into it, and then it ended up leaking 3 months early. Like, long story short, it kind of, you work so hard on something, you're ready for it to explode, and it goes off before you get to it, It's like, fuck. So it kind of put us in like a slump, I feel like, And we kept writing this record too. Like, we would write and stop and write and stop and write. We ended up like writing 60 some songs before we even went to the studio with Feldman. It was just 60 tidbits, really.
I feel like the whole divorce with the major label was hugely stifling in the creative process, because it was like, okay, we pick up your option for your 5th record, so we start writing and making the record, and then they dropped us, so then it kind of put us out there, and we kind of had to figure out what to do from there. It was perfect timing and perfect opportunity for us to start our own art production company, and we're stoked about that. But it was just getting to that point is what kind of took along. The first song on the record, I Come Alive, was written 2.5 years ago. So a lot of these songs have been little pieces that have been kicking around for days. So
it's actually a blessing that they dropped us, because we wanted to leave the label before we put out artwork even. We were just unhappy with everything, not happy, unhappy, not happy, both of those together.
We were sad.
Sad. So when you guys are now, it's Hopeless Records, it's helping you guys distribute with your own label. What's the process been in getting all this together and up to the release of Vulnerable?
There's a lot of cruising around and just talking to people, showing my face, and me and Sean Akavon, our manager, kind of everybody's been working really hard and doing their own little thing, but it's very different putting a thing together on your own. It's a lot more work than you anticipate, and it's definitely not glamorous work, but yeah, it's been cool, man.
I teach at Utah Valley University. You guys are familiar with that, hometown Orem. I'm teaching the audio engineering for my students down there. What's a tip or trick that you guys would offer to people that want to be record producers like John Feldmann? What would you say to them?
I guess to be a record producer, you kind of have to know about engineering as well. I mean, not as much as just a basic specific engineer, I guess, but I would say, wow, that's a good question, man. Listen to as much music as you can, and you gotta, I guess, really know music and understand music, and keep an open mind about all different types of music, I guess, would be.
I think that's the most important thing, is to keep an open mind about everything. Noise, like Latin music. I love Latin music so much, I really do. And you would never really guess that by the way our band is, really, you know what I mean? But it's like, everybody should just be open to all music in general, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a producer, you should know every instrument. You should be open to different styles of that, Indian, East, Middle East, you know what I mean? Everything you can think of, I think, personally, but that's just me.
And when you're in the studio, you obviously you rely on their ears and their tastes a little bit, because you guys go in there, and probably, especially when you guys released your first album, when you went in the studio, you're probably nervous as hell, right? I mean, imagine.
Yeah, I think we were all just, excited would be the word. We were just we're definitely different people than we were back then. But yeah, John Feldmann's kind of an intimidating guy, and he's, like I was saying, he's really intense. And there were a few moments where we really had it out, but I was just 19, so what can you do?
A few moments on this record, we really had it out.
Yeah.
So your nerves change a little bit as you go into the studio, but pretty much you go through the same emotional process when you're in the studio.
Definitely, that intensity's always there, and I think that if it wasn't, it wouldn't be as special,
New album is not artwork. That's an old album. The new album is Vulnerable, and it's out now. You guys got to go check it out. Like I said, it's a little bit different taste of the Used. You're going to still hear the roots of everything that you guys are familiar with. You're going to get the Used, and you're going to get some influences, some of the major hip hop influences, real quick before we check out, that inspired this album.
I think Tupac's the baddest ass rapper of all time.
I like Tribe Called Quest, TLC.
We love Wu-Tang. We love Old Dirties.
Anybody in Wu-Tang is badass, man.
Yeah.
Ghostface,
RZA.
Yeah, I don't know.
Meth. We love smoking meth.
I like Jurassic 5 too, so I love that band. I don't care. Whatever.
I like Nerd a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys very much. It's been a pleasure. Been awesome to talk with you guys. We hope to see you at Warped Tour, and I know you guys are headlining that, so that's exciting for everyone in the U.S. hasn't seen the Used for a long time. Make sure to check out the dates that the Warped Tour is rolling through your neighborhood, because we're going to be there, they're going to be there, and we want to see you guys, we want to see them. And again, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Right on, man. Cool.
Breathing in now, I try counting my blessings.